We have four guest speakers with us. Dr. Balakrishnan, Dr. Lalita Balakrishnan. We have Mr. Bruce Schwank with us today. We also have Mr. T.M. Karthik and Mr. Vincent D'Souza. It is my pleasure and honor to invite Mr. Rajesh to share with us his experiences and a few anecdotes about the journey from communicating to becoming a powerful communicator. Mr. Rajesh.
So I am especially privileged and I think honored that all of you have taken time out in the midst of the festival season to be here with me on the occasion of Break Free's launch. Taking on from what Ms. Nisha was talking about, my journey of moving away from just communicating to becoming a communicator, I think I should credit my spouse, Ms. Soundarya Rajesh, for that journey. Like most men, when I got married, one of the common feedback I would get is, you just are not communicating. And interestingly, that's one of the chapters in the book about how men and women just don't seem to be able to communicate with each other. Now, if I'm going to go back a bit more in time, one story which kind of stuck in my mind when it comes to the power of communication is from this Reader's Digest book. In those days, we didn't have this nice thing called Google and the net, so we used to have to read these nice big fat books. And my father used to get these Reader's Digest special publications. And one of the book was a book about true stories of great escapes. And this story is about an Armenian actor called Vahan Shatuni. Somewhere along the line, his stage career got cut short. And he kind of discovered an alternate career, just like how maybe I am discovering an alternate career from a retailer to an author. And he ended up being the magistrate of a city. And this was the period when the Russian Revolution was happening, 1917. And post the war, the army, the soldiers of the army was tremendously frustrated and angry at the officers because they felt that a lot of casualties, a lot of mistakes that have been occurring in the war has been thanks to the officers' decisions, or rather their wrong decisions. So the story goes that there was this train which was carrying a lot of officers which pulled into this the station where this guy was the magistrate's commissioner. And it so happened that there were thousands of soldiers who were suddenly informed that this train is carrying officers, and it became a right target for their frustration and anger. Just when the situation was going to become uncontrollably explosive, the station master called up Shatuni and said, "Please help." And Shatuni rides into the scenario where he has almost lakhs and thousands of soldiers all boiling with frustrated rage and ready to just unleash it on this trainload of officers. And he gets on to a pile of cartons which had been kept for loading onto some train, and he taps open his shirt and he says, "Belt my chest with stones." And he goes on to deliver a dialogue from one of the historical plays that he used to act in. It so happens that the soldiers are so enthralled by this guy's talk that they don't even realize that the train with all those officers is slowly pulling away from the station. And by the time he finishes his talk, the soldiers realize that the train has gone, but then his communication is so powerful that the fact that the train has gone away is no longer relevant. When I read that story, it struck a very deep chord in my mind, because imagine the power of communication that one single person can wield. And this is something that we also see. We see it in movies where one hero or a superstar or a great actor can hold you in complete mesmerized attention for 3 hours at a stretch. We see it in leading politicians who can hold a huge audience spellbound during their talk. Communication is not about only such great people. The idea why I wrote this book is a powerful communicator is hidden inside each one of us. And I'm hoping that people who read this book discover that powerful communicator which is hidden inside each one of us.
We have 4 guest of honors with us. Dr. Balakrishnan, Dr. Lalita Balakrishnan. We have Mr. Bruce Schwank with us today. We also have Mr. T.M. Karthik and Mr. Vincent D'Souza. We are all so pleased and privileged to have you with us today. We would like to call upon all of you to please come to the head table and officially launch the book. Debate or discuss this. One is, the entire piece of communication or the process of communication is almost like a jigsaw puzzle. So where you have these taught elements like the language part of it, then you have elements like body language, which actually nobody teaches you. So what is the importance and which takes predominance, which is most important? Is it the thought part of it, which is mostly the language part, or is it the body language, or is it a combination of? And also the importance of the emotional state of mind when we are communicating, how that can play an important role. And also the importance of sensitivity in communication.
So for me, the most inspiring communication I've come across, which is actually based on books, is something which I heard. I don't know how true it is, but there's this very famous story called Tom Sawyer, which all of us would have read when we were kids. If you have not gone to read it, I'll give you my number, you can call back and tell me you've read it. Now it was written by this gentleman called Mark Twain, who had a much longer name, and for the brevity of communication he chose a smaller name, I guess. Now apparently his publisher had taken the copies of those books to England because it was doing well in the US. So he had taken the books to England and they wanted to try marketing it in England. And those are the days when there was only snail mail, no emails and Gmails were there. So a long time no news was happening, and Mr. Samuel Longmont Clemens, Mark Twain was getting very worried. And what's happening? I've created a book and nothing's happening. And so he sent him a letter apparently with just one character, a question mark. And within a couple of weeks he got a reply from the publisher with an exclamation mark. Right? So just in 2 symbols, one of the most powerful books of all time was, and the publication of that was communicated. So I'm a guy who doesn't profess what I preach. I think you don't have to talk too much to communicate. The less the words, the more you communicate, which I find difficult to do. Humor and less communication is something which I totally believe in. Verbal diarrhea is something which I get nauseated about. And as a trainer, I think I myself have learned body language as being a little more powerful. And there's a lot of emphasis on English. The moment you think of communication, people think of English. I don't understand why. Why should you use a language to define? It's like saying that English is like perfume. Yeah? Unless you had a bath, eventually your communication will show. So you can't use that language and say I communicate because I've got a super accent, I speak like that. No, that's not communication, right? It's not going to work like that. And for me, like the question mark and the answer mark of, exclamation mark of Mark Twain, I think Rajesh's life is like that, right? So he started selling, now he's selling. Right? So it's this very transformation, and
I was once talking to one of my employees in a very animated manner. And after the discussion was over, another one of my colleagues came in and said, sir, don't get so upset. You're getting so angry that you're going to make yourself sick. I said, are you joking? I'm not angry at all. He said, what was that? I said, I'm acting. Because some some people learn a certain way. And I just knew that this particular guy, he needed to feel my truth. I wasn't angry, I wasn't upset, but as I said, I was acting. And I think that's one of the interesting things in the book is that you can be truthful and honest and authentic and still develop some skills of oration and presentation that don't violate the truth in any way, but they make you a powerful communicator.
I really feel that you've got to express what you feel, and it is very important. Maybe it is not very nice to say bad things to people. So if you don't like something, probably then you just don't mouth those words. But when you're really happy about something, or when you have to convey a message, it's better to talk. Because when you're not talking, it's and leave it to the imagination of the others, or allow them to form their own opinions. More often than not, there is likely to be a misunderstanding.
But where do the stories come from? Right. So the stories will come only if you are a sponge, and you need to let yourself to experience everything around you. Yeah? It's only then that you begin to feel the stories, the experiences that we all have.